I discovered my neighbor's obsession with my life, and it turned into a nightmare. Hey everyone, I'm about to share a story that's been tearing my life apart for years. I'm 28, female, and I moved into this quiet suburban neighborhood about 5 years ago with my husband, Mark, who's 30. We were newlyweds, full of excitement, and it felt like the perfect start to our dream life. We bought a fixer-upper house and poured our hearts into it, painting walls, planting a garden, the whole works. Most of our neighbors were older folks, the kind who wave from their porches and drop off casseroles to welcome you. But then there was Sarah, 35, who lived right next door. She was single, worked from home as a graphic designer, and from the very first day, she was incredibly welcoming, maybe even a little too welcoming. It all started innocently enough. The day we moved in, Sarah showed up with a bottle of wine and a homemade pie. "Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm Sarah, and if you need anything, tools, advice on the best pizza place, whatever, I'm your girl," she said with this bubbly energy, always smiling. I remember thinking how nice it was to have someone close by who was around our age. Mark and I didn't have many friends in the area yet, so we invited her over for dinner a few times. She'd bring these amazing desserts, and we'd chat about everything: work, travel dreams, even our families. At first, Sarah didn't share much about her own background. She mentioned being from a small town a few states away, with no siblings and parents who passed away when she was young. It tugged at my heartstrings. I come from a big, chaotic family, 2 sisters, a brother, and parents who are always in everyone's business. Mark's family is smaller but tight-knit. His mom calls every Sunday like clockwork. So, we kind of adopted Sarah into our little circle. She'd join us for barbecues, help me pick out curtains for the living room, and even watched our dog when we went on a weekend trip once. But looking back, that's when things started to feel off. It was subtle at first. I'd mention wanting to try a new hairstyle, and a week later, Sarah would show up with the exact same cut and color. "Oh, I saw your Pinterest board and thought it was cute," she'd say, laughing it off. Then it was clothes. I bought this cute sundress online, showed it to her excitedly, and the next backyard hangout, there she was, wearing the identical one. "Great minds think alike, right?" she'd wink. Mark thought it was flattering, like she looked up to me or something. "Babe, you're a trendsetter," he'd tease. But it made me uncomfortable. I tried to brush it off, telling myself I was being paranoid. After all, she was nice. Helpful. But then she started inserting herself more and more into our lives. She'd text me constantly, "What are you guys up to tonight? Mind if I pop over?" If we said we had plans, she'd act all disappointed, like we'd personally rejected her. About 2 years in, Mark and I decided to start trying for a baby. It wasn't happening right away, which was stressful, and Sarah was the first person I confided in outside of Mark. That was a huge mistake. She got weirdly invested. "Oh, honey, have you tried this tea? Or this app for tracking ovulation?" she'd ask. She sent me articles, recommended books, and even bought me fertility vitamins once. At the time, it felt supportive, but then she'd make comments like, "I can't wait to be Auntie Sarah." As if it was already a done deal. When I finally got pregnant last year, Sarah was over the moon, almost more than I was. She threw me a surprise baby shower without even asking and invited all her friends, who I barely knew. It was awkward, but I smiled through it. Our daughter, Lily, was born 6 months ago, and Sarah was at the hospital the very next day, holding her before some of my own family even got the chance. "She's perfect," she cooed, tears in her eyes. "Just like her mama." That's when the copying escalated to a whole new level. She started buying baby clothes that matched Lily's outfits. Twinning. She'd post on Instagram, tagging me in photos of her holding some random baby doll dressed like my kid. Wait, no, she didn't even have a child. She was buying these outfits for herself? It was beyond bizarre. Then she dyed her hair to match mine exactly, got the same tattoo I have on my wrist, a little lily flower, which feels ironic now, and even started using phrases I say all the time, like "bless your heart" when something annoys me. Mark still downplayed it. "She's just lonely, babe. Maybe she's going through something," he'd say. But I started pulling back. I'd make excuses not to hang out and began locking our doors more often. One night, I caught her peeking through our kitchen window while I was cooking dinner. She waved like it was totally normal. "Just seeing if you needed help," she called out. I confronted her gently at first. "Sarah, I appreciate our friendship, but I need some space. Things feel a bit intense lately," I told her. She burst into tears. "I'm so sorry. I look up to you so much. Your life is perfect, Mark, the baby, The house. I don't have that, she sobbed. I felt guilty, hugged her, and we made up. But it didn't stop. Then came the stuff with my husband. Mark works in marketing and travels occasionally for conferences. Sarah started asking about him more often. How's Mark doing? Tell him I said hi. She'd say. It seemed innocent at first, but then she'd show up when he was home alone, bringing over extra food she cooked. I made too much lasagna, thought you guys could use it, she'd explain. If I was out, she'd linger, chatting with him about sports or whatever. One evening, I came home early from visiting my mom and found them in our living room, laughing over wine. Sarah had her hand on his arm. Mark jumped up when he saw me. Hey, babe. Sarah just stopped by with some design ideas for the nursery, he said quickly. She left soon after, but I was fuming. What the hell, Mark? Why is she here alone with you? I demanded. He got defensive. She's our neighbor. It's not a big deal. You're overreacting because of the pregnancy hormones or something, he shot back. That hurt. We argued, but he apologized and promised to set boundaries. Things seemed to quiet down for a bit, or so I thought. Lily was about 3 months old when I started noticing missing items. A necklace Mark gave me for our anniversary, gone. One of Lily's blankets, vanished. My favorite perfume, empty, even though I hadn't used it much. I blamed mom brain at first, but then I saw Sarah wearing a necklace that looked suspiciously like mine at a neighborhood block party. I didn't say anything right then, but I started paying closer attention. I installed a doorbell camera, and sure enough, clips showed her coming over when we weren't home, letting herself into our backyard. Just watering your plants. She'd text later, as if that explained everything. The breaking point came last month. Mark was away on a business trip, and I was home alone with Lily. Around midnight, I heard noises outside. I looked out the window and saw Sarah in our backyard, digging in my garden. What on earth? I grabbed my phone, ready to call the cops, but confronted her first. Sarah. What are you doing? I shouted. She froze, shovel in hand. Oh. I thought I saw her weed. Didn't want it to ruin your flowers, she stammered. It was absolute nonsense. Was she planting something, or digging something up? I told her to leave and not come back. The next day, she showed up at my door, sobbing. Please, don't hate me. I have to tell you something, she pleaded. That's when she dropped the bomb. I'm in love with Mark. I've been in love with him since you moved in. But it's more than that. I think we could be a family. You, me, him, Lily. I could help raise her, she said. I was stunned. What? Sarah, that's insane. Get out, I told her. She refused, grabbing my arm. No, listen. He's not happy with you. He told me things, about how you nag him, how the baby's changed everything. We could share him, she insisted. I shoved her off, slammed the door, and called Mark immediately. He denied everything, said she was crazy, but there was something in his voice. Hesitation. When he got home, we had a massive fight. Did you tell her personal stuff about us? I demanded. He admitted to venting to her once or twice about normal couple stuff, but swore there was nothing more. I didn't fully believe him. I installed more cameras and changed the locks. But Sarah didn't stop. She started leaving notes in our mailbox. Mark deserves better. Lily needs 2 moms. Creepy, disturbing stuff. My family got involved when I told my sister, Emma, who's 26. She came over to stay with me for a few days. This woman is unhinged. You need to get a restraining order, she insisted. We looked into it, but Sarah played innocent with the cops, calling it just a misunderstanding between friends. Then came the twist that shattered me. I was going through Mark's phone, yes, I know, but trust was already broken. I found texts from Sarah going back years. Flirty ones from him at first, thanks for the wine, you're a lifesaver. But they got more intimate. Can't wait to see you at the barbecue. Heart emojis. And then, a month before Lily was born, you're amazing, Sarah. Sometimes I wish things were different. My heart stopped. Was he cheating? The messages weren't explicit, but they were enough to make me sick. I confronted him that night. What the hell is this? I demanded. He broke down. It was nothing physical. Just emotional. She listened when you were busy with work or pregnancy stuff. But I ended it before the baby came. I swear. He pleaded. Ended what, exactly? I screamed. Lily woke up crying. We argued for hours. He claimed it was just talks, late night confessions, but no kissing, no sex. I didn't buy it. I kicked him out to his mom's house. Alone with Lily, I spiraled. Sarah texted me, "See? He wants me. Let me help with the baby." I blocked her, but she started showing up at my work, a coffee shop I manage. "We need to talk about our family," she'd say. Customers noticed, and my boss told me to handle my personal drama. My parents drove down when I called them in tears. My dad, 55, was furious. "That neighbor sounds like a stalker. And Mark? If he cheated, he's out," he said. My mom, 53, was more sympathetic to Mark. "People make mistakes, honey. Think of Lily," she urged. But then Emma dug deeper. She's tech savvy and reverse searched Sarah's number and socials. She found out Sarah's real last name wasn't what she told us, it matched Mark's mom's maiden name or something close. "Wait, no," Emma called me, excited. "Sis, Sarah's from the same town as Mark's family. And get this, her Facebook from years ago has photos with Mark's cousin." "What?" I called Mark's mom, Karen, who's 58. She hesitated. "Sarah? Oh, honey, that's Mark's ex from high school. They dated for a year. She was intense. We thought she moved away," she admitted. My world tilted. Mark had never mentioned an ex named Sarah. When I confronted him over the phone, he stammered. "It was a long time ago. I didn't recognize her at first. She changed her hair, lost weight. By the time I figured it out, she was already our friend. I didn't want to make it weird," he explained. "Bullshit. You texted her flirty messages." I shot back. He claimed he was confused and fell into old patterns but stopped it. But why the obsession with me? With Lily? I started piecing it together. Sarah wasn't just after Mark, she was copying me to become me. To replace me. Things escalated last week. I came home to find my front door ajar. Inside, the house was trashed, photos smashed, Lily's room rummaged through, a note on the kitchen table read, "If I can't have this life, no one can." I called the police, but Sarah had an alibi, out with friends. No proof it was her. Mark rushed over, begging to help. "Let me stay, protect you too," he pleaded. I let him, but only for Lily. That night, as we cleaned up, he confessed more. "Sarah and we hooked up once, right before you got pregnant." "I'm so sorry," he admitted. I felt like vomiting. "Get out," I told him. He left, crying. The next morning, Sarah was at my door with flowers. I heard about the break-in. "Need a shoulder?" she offered. I slammed the door, locked everything, and called Emma. "Come over. I think she's planning something worse," I said. Emma arrived, and we stayed up talking. She suggested checking Sarah's house, maybe through public records or something. But then, my phone buzzed with an anonymous email, photos of Mark and Sarah together, recent ones, in a hotel. Timestamped during his business trip. The caption read, "He's mine now. Give up." I showed Mark. He swore it was photoshopped. But doubt crept in. That's when my brother, Jake, 24, got involved. He lives nearby and came over fuming. "I'll handle this nut job," he said. But Sarah charmed him somehow, texted him pretending to be worried about me. Family dinner turned into chaos. My parents argued. Dad wanted to sue Sarah, while Mom thought Mark deserved a second chance. Emma suspected Sarah was manipulating everyone. Last night, I heard noises again. I looked outside. Sarah's car was in her driveway, but shadows were moving in my yard. I grabbed Lily, hid in the bathroom, and called 911. The police came but found nothing. As they left, Sarah waved from her porch. "Everything okay, neighbor?" she called out. "I'm terrified. Mark wants to move back in. My family is divided. And I just found out Sarah's pregnant." She announced it on social media, tagging Mark, excited for our little family. Is it his? He denies it, but... Update 1. Okay, everyone, it's been a whirlwind since I posted this a few days ago. First off, thank you to everyone who commented. Some of you suggested getting a lawyer, others said to document everything, and I've done both. I even hired a private investigator because, at this point, I don't trust anyone, especially not Mark. The pie didn't take long to dig up dirt. Turns out Sarah isn't just Mark's high school ex, she's connected deeper. Her real name is Samantha Reyes, and she changed it legally 5 years ago, right around the time we moved in. The pie found court records showing she had a restraining order against her from another family in her hometown. Apparently, she got obsessed with a couple there, tried to join their marriage, and even faked a pregnancy to guilt the husband into leaving his wife. Holy crap. It matches everything, the copying, the insertion into our lives. She targeted us because of Mark, her old flame, but why me? The pie thinks it's some kind of single white female situation, where she idolizes and resents me at the same time. I confronted Mark with this. We met at a neutral spot, a park, with Lily and her stroller. Did you know about her past? I demanded. He looked guilty as hell. Not all of it. I knew she had issues back in school, got clingy, spread rumors when I broke up with her. But I thought she got better. When she moved next door, I recognized her after a few weeks, but she begged me not to tell you. Said she was starting fresh, he explained. Starting fresh by stalking us? I yelled. People stared, but I didn't care. And the hookup? The texts? He admitted the hookup was real, one drunken night when I was at a work conference. It was a mistake. She seduced me, brought up old times, he said. But he swore the recent photos were fake, and the pie confirmed they were edited. As for her pregnancy announcement? The pie obtained information, legally, I'm sure, that Sarah's not pregnant. It's a lie. She posted a stock photo of an ultrasound. Relief washed over me, but then anger followed. Why didn't you tell me from the start? I asked. I was scared. I thought if I ignored it, she'd go away, he admitted. We talked for hours. He wants couples therapy, to rebuild. My heart says maybe, for Lily, but my head screams no. Meanwhile, Sarah's escalating. She filed a police report against me, claiming I harassed her by spreading lies about her past. The cops showed up at my door, but I showed them my evidence, the pie's report, camera footage. They warned her to stay away, but there's no official restraining order yet. My family is a mess. Emma's on my side, helping me pack to stay with her temporarily. Jake confronted Sarah, big mistake. He went to her house, yelling, "Stay away from my sister." She recorded it, twisted it to make him look aggressive. Now he's got a warning from the cops. My parents are divided. Dad says, cut Mark loose, he's weak. Mom counters, forgive him, family is everything. I feel betrayed by everyone. But the real twist came yesterday. The pie called, your husband isn't telling the full truth. Sarah has emails from him, recent ones, encouraging her. What? I met the pie in his dingy office. He showed me printouts, emails from Mark's work account. I miss our talks. Don't give up on us. Dated after the hookup, after Lily was born. I drove straight to Mark's mom's house, where he's staying, and banged on the door. Explain this, I demanded. He read them, his face paling. These aren't from me. She must have hacked my email, he insisted. Is that possible? The pie's checking. But doubt is killing me. As I left, Sarah called from a blocked number. He's lying to you. Come over, I'll show you proof we're meant to be together, including with you, she said. With me? What the hell does that mean? I'm shaking as I share this. I'm staying at Emma's tonight, but I just got a text from Mark, Sarah's at the house. She broke in. Call the police. Update 2. Holy crap, everyone, last night was insane. After Mark's text, I called 911 immediately, telling them there was a break-in at my address, possible danger. Emma and I raced over, but the cops beat us there. Lights flashing, sirens blaring, the whole neighborhood was out gawking. They had Sarah in cuffs on my front lawn. She was screaming, "This is my house. My family. You can't do this." Mark was inside, looking shell-shocked. He said he went to check on the house, with my sort of permission, since we're still technically married, and found the door forced open. Sarah was in Lily's nursery, rocking an empty cradle, singing lullabies. She'd set up a little shrine with photos of me, Mark, Lily, and herself photoshopped in. My missing necklace was there, Lily's blanket, even strands of my hair taped to a doll. It was creepy as hell. The cops arrested her for breaking and entering, theft, since my stuff was there, and violating the informal stay-away order. I got there just as they were loading her into the squad car. She saw me and lunged, but the cops held her back. You don't understand. We're sisters. Tell them, my name. She shouted. Sisters? What the actual hell? I froze. Mark yelled, she's crazy. Get her out of here. But as they drove off, she kept shouting, check your birth certificate. Ask your parents. My blood ran cold. I'm adopted, my parents told me when I was little. But they said my birth mom was a teenager who couldn't keep me, with no siblings mentioned. Could Sarah be? I turned to Mark. Did you know about this? I asked. He shook his head vigorously. No. She's delusional, he insisted. But the seed was planted. Emma and I drove to my parents' house that night. It was late, but I couldn't wait. I banged on their door at 2 a.m. Mom answered in her robe, Dad groggy behind her. "What's going on? Is Lily okay?" they asked. I blurted it out, "Is Sarah my sister? My biological sister?" They went pale. Mom started crying. Dad sighed, "Sit down, honey. There's something we need to tell you." Turns out, my birth mom had 2 daughters, me and an older one. She gave me up because she was young and struggling but kept the older girl. That older girl? Samantha, Sarah. My birth mom died when Sarah was 10, and she bounced around foster care, getting into trouble. My parents knew about her but decided not to tell me, thinking it would complicate things. "We wanted you to have a normal life," Mom sobbed. How did Sarah find me? Through some ancestry site a few years ago. She tracked me down and moved next door on purpose. But why the obsession with Mark? Dad explained, "From what we heard back then, she had a crush on a boy in high school, Mark, apparently. When she found out you married him, it triggered her." Mom added, "She contacted us once, years ago, demanding to meet you. We said no, for your safety. She's unstable." Unstable is an understatement. But Mark dated her knowing she was my bio-sister? No, he swears he didn't know until recently. "She told me a couple of months ago, after the hookup. Threatened to tell you everything if I didn't leave you," he said. Betrayal on top of betrayal. My family kept this secret. Mark kept his affair, or whatever it was. Sarah orchestrated this whole thing too. What? Steal my life because she resented me for being adopted into a perfect family? I'm reeling. Lily's with Emma now, I can't even think straight. The police are charging Sarah, but she might get a psych eval instead of jail. Mark's begging for forgiveness. "We can get through this. Therapy, whatever it takes," he pleads. But can I? My whole life feels like a lie. Update 3. It's been 2 days since the arrest, and things are unraveling faster than I can keep up. Sarah's in custody, but she lawyered up quick, some pro bono advocate for mental health cases. The cops let me see her interrogation notes through my lawyer, and oh boy, it's a doozy. She claims we're twin souls or some nonsense. She admits to the break-ins and thefts but says it was to connect with me. The pregnancy lie? To share the joy of motherhood with her sister. She even confessed to hacking Mark's email, learned it from some online forum, to send those messages and frame him. But the big reveal, she says Mark knew about our relation from the start. That he dated her in high school because she told him about her lost baby sister, me, and he was fascinated. When she found me, she reconnected with him online, and they planned the whole neighbor thing together. To reunite the family in some twisted way? Or was it a revenge plot against me for having the life she wanted? Mark denies it vehemently. She's lying to drag me down. He insists. I don't know who to believe. The Pies digging into their old communications and found high school yearbooks. Yep, they dated. And an old blog Sarah had, ranting about her stolen sister and how she'd take back what's mine. My parents are apologetic, but I feel so betrayed. Why didn't you warn me? I asked. Mom replied, we thought she'd moved on. We didn't know she was dangerous. Jake's pissed at everyone and wants to sue Sarah for emotional distress. Emma's pushing me to divorce Mark. He's toxic, sis. Get out, she urges. I agreed to meet Mark one more time at a coffee shop. He showed up with flowers, tears in his eyes. I love you. I love Lily. Sarah manipulated me, but I take responsibility for my mistakes, he said. What mistakes, exactly? I pressed. He confessed more. The hookup wasn't just once, it was a short affair, 3 times, during my pregnancy. I was scared about becoming a dad. She preyed on that, he admitted. I slapped him and walked out. I filed for divorce that afternoon. But as I was leaving the lawyer's office, my phone rang, a jail number. It was Sarah. I shouldn't have answered, but I did. Sister, she whispered. Don't trust Mark. He's the one who helped me move next door. And there's more, about Lily. What about Lily? My heart pounded. She's not just yours. Ask him about the paternity test he secretly did, she said before hanging up. I raced to Emma's, grabbed Lily, and called Mark. Is Lily yours? Tell me the truth, I demanded. He paused too long. Of course she is. Sarah's poisoning you, he insisted. But now I'm doubting everything. Is my daughter even his? Or does Sarah's involvement run deeper? I just ordered a home DNA kit. Results in a week. If it's not his, then whose? And what does Sarah know? This nightmare isn't over. What if Lily's in danger? What if my whole family is part of some bigger secret? I'll update when I know more, but right now, I'm scared to death. Update 4. I can't even describe the hell these last few days have been. The DNA kit arrived the next morning after Sarah's call, and I swear, I stared at that box like it was a bomb. Emma was there, holding Lily while I swabbed her cheek and mine, then Mark's. I made him come over under supervision. No way was I letting him near us alone. He looked like a kicked puppy, swearing up and down that Sarah was just trying to mess with my head. Lily's ours, babe. Ours, he kept saying. But that pause on the phone? It haunted me. I paid for rush processing, results in 48 hours. Those 2 days were torture. I barely slept, jumping at every noise, convinced Sarah had somehow bailed out and was lurking. The cops assured me she was still locked up, pending her psych eval, but I didn't feel safe. Jake crashed on Emma's couch, playing bodyguard, while Mom kept calling, begging me to talk it out with Mark. Dad, on the other hand, texted, "If that test says what I think, cut him loose and sue for everything." Lily was fussy the whole time, like she could sense the chaos. I'd rock her at night, whispering, "It's okay, baby girl. Mommy's got you." But inside, I was falling apart. What if she wasn't Mark's? What if Sarah had? I don't know, done something insane during my pregnancy? The affair happened right before I got pregnant, the timing was too close. My mind went to dark places. Had Sarah drugged me? Switched something? It sounded crazy, but after everything, nothing felt impossible. The results email came at 3 a.m. on the third day. I was up anyway, nursing a cup of cold coffee. Emma woke up when she heard me gasp. "What does it say?" she asked. I read it aloud, voice shaking. Paternity confirmed. Mark is the biological father with 99.99% probability. Relief hit me like a wave, then anger. Lily was his, ours. But Sarah's words echoed, "She's not just yours." What the hell did that mean? I forwarded the results to Mark immediately. His response, "See? I told you. Can we talk now?" No. Not yet. I called my lawyer first thing in the morning and pushed for that restraining order. With the DNA proof debunking at least part of her mind games, it felt like I had leverage. But Sarah wasn't done. Her lawyer contacted mine. Turns out, during her eval, she'd spilled more beans. She claimed she had evidence that would change everything about our family. The psych report noted she was coherent, not fully delusional, which made it worse. She was calculating. Emma and I decided to visit my parents again. I needed answers about my adoption, the full story. We drove over with Lily, and Jake met us there. The house felt tense, like walking into a funeral. Mom had baked cookies, her go-to stress response, but Dad looked exhausted. "Sit down," Dad said, pulling out a box from the attic filled with old papers and photos. "We should have shown you this years ago." My birth mom, Elena, was 17 when she had Sarah, unplanned, with some deadbeat guy. Elena kept Sarah but struggled, got into drugs. 2 years later, she had me with a different man, my bio dad, who bailed immediately. Elena gave me up right after birth, thinking I'd have a better shot. But she never told Sarah about me until she was dying of an overdose when Sarah was 10. She whispered it to her, Mom said, tears streaming. Said Sarah had a sister out there, living the good life. Sarah fixated on it in foster care and became obsessed with finding her stolen family. There were letters in the box, from Sarah, years ago. Angry ones, "You took my sister. Give her back." My parents had ignored them, even got a no-contact order back then. "We thought it was over," Dad admitted. "Until you called about your neighbor." "Why didn't you recognize her name?" I demanded. "She changed it," Mom said. "And we never met her. Elena sent us one photo of Sarah as a kid, but she looks nothing like that now." It clicked, Sarah's copying me wasn't just envy, it was her way of reclaiming what she thought was hers. My looks, my life, my husband, who she'd crushed on as a teen, even my daughter. But the betrayal stung deepest from my parents. "You let me live next to a psychopath and said nothing?" I asked. "We didn't know it was her," Dad yelled, then softened. "We're sorry, honey. We failed you." Jake exploded. "Failed? You almost got her killed. And Mark, don't get me started on that asshole." We argued for hours. Mom defended keeping secrets to protect me, but it felt like excuses. By the end, I stormed out, telling them I needed space. Emma drove us home, Lily asleep in the back. Family drama at its finest, she muttered. That night, Mark showed up at Emma's uninvited. Please, just hear me out, he begged. Jake blocked the door, but I let him in, for 5 minutes. He had a folder, emails from his IT guy at work. Look, Sarah did hack me. These trace back to her IP address. The miss you messages? She sent them to herself, then forwarded to the Pi, he explained. It checked out. The Pi confirmed it later. So Mark wasn't lying about that. But the affair? Still real. I can't erase what I did, he said, voice breaking. But I want to make it right. For Lily. For us. I didn't have an answer and told him to leave. Then, the next bombshell, Sarah's evidence. Her lawyer sent it over as part of discovery for the charges. Audio recordings, from her phone. She'd recorded conversations with Mark during their affair. In one, he's drunk, saying, "Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if I'd stayed with you back then." Her response, "We could have it now. And with my sister. We could be a real family." Mark's voice, "Your sister? What are you talking about?" She laughs, "Oh, Marky, you really don't know? My name is my blood. The one they took from me." He sounds shocked. "That's impossible. You're lying." But she proves it, names, dates, even my birth mom's name. Mark's response? "Holy shit. Does she know?" "No. And you won't tell her. This is our secret. Imagine, us together, raising her kid as ours." The recording cuts off, but there's more. Mark didn't tell me right away. Instead, another clip from weeks later. "Sarah, this is crazy. We have to stop. But don't hurt her. She's family to you." He knew. For months. And kept seeing her, or at least talking to her, while I was pregnant. I played it for him over the phone. Silence. Then, "I was trying to protect you. She threatened to tell you everything, ruin our marriage," he said. "Protect me? By sleeping with my sister?" I shouted. "She's not, okay, biologically, but I didn't know at first," he stammered. We screamed until I hung up. Divorce papers are signed. He's getting supervised visits with Lily, nothing more. But Sarah? Her trial's coming. I'm testifying. Revenge? Maybe. Or just justice. Update 5. It's been a week since the recordings, and I've been in therapy, solo, because there's no way I'm doing couples counseling with Mark. The therapist says I'm dealing with compounded trauma, betrayal from my husband, my parents, and now this twisted sibling reveal. Give yourself grace, she says. Easier said than done. Sarah's psych eval came back, borderline personality disorder with obsessive tendencies, but competent to stand trial. No insanity plea. Her lawyer's pushing for a deal, community service, mandatory therapy, if she pleads guilty to lesser charges. Hell no. I want her behind bars or at least far away. I met with the DA and showed them everything, the shrine, the thefts, the hacks, the recordings. This wasn't random, I said. She planned it for years. They agreed, charges were upgraded to stalking and burglary with intent. Mark's cooperating now, turning over his phone records. Turns out, after he ended things, Sarah blackmailed him with the sister secret. Leave your wife, or I tell her and destroy your family, she threatened. He paid her off once, $5,000 from our savings, which explains some work expenses I questioned. I thought it'd make her go away, he admitted in a deposition. Idiot, but it explains his hesitation, his defensiveness. Still doesn't excuse the affair. My family? We're in repair mode. I sat down with mom and dad, no yelling this time. I need transparency, I told them. No more secrets, they agreed and even offered to help with moving costs. I'm selling the house, too many bad memories. Emma's letting us crash longer term, and Jake's helping pack. But the real drama hit yesterday. Sarah requested a jail visit, with me. Her lawyer said it was for closure. Against everyone's advice, I went. Curiosity? Anger? Maybe both. We sat across a glass partition, her in orange, looking smaller, tired. Why? I asked flat out. Why all this? She smiled sadly. You had everything I wanted. The family, the love. Mom kept me but tossed you away, and look, you got the perfect life. I found you through Ancestry, saw you with Mark, my Mark from high school. It was fate. I thought if I became you, or joined you, we could share it, she explained. Share? You tried to steal it, I countered. Tears welled in her eyes. I loved you, sister. From afar. But you rejected me. When Mark and I reconnected, he told me about your fights, how stressed you were. I thought I could help. Be the better version, she said.